Hi guys, it's Stevie Meech here with Schwarzkopf USA, and we are going to be talking about gray blending. So my client here has definitely some grays, and it's not a ton of them. It just appears to be more than what it is because her natural level is so dark. But then if you kind of can see, right about in here, she does have full coverage. So the goal of today is going to be to blend this out, but also keep some of the gray to make things a little less maintenance for her as she grows her hair in. So I'm going to just take a section right here along my face frame. I'm going to do the same thing on top, and then I'm going to work my way up horizontal. And I want to come in around the hairline just to keep things even, because if I were to work my way up, then I could definitely leave entire areas out, and I don't really have control over what the front is looking like. So I'm always gonna start in the front, and I'm going to be dropping this up until I can see the old color. I'm going to do my entire face framing as I go to each section. So now I'm going to work my way from bottom to the top, and I'm going to be weaving everything. So I'm gonna be coming down, and right about in here, I can see some warmth. So this is about where that old color is. So I'm just going to pull this color down and then just kind of flick it without really making things complicated on the ends. Because I'm also gonna go over everything with a gloss and make it perfect. And I'm flipping my foil up here just to make sure I get really close at the root. And then I'm gonna lock it in. So now I took about an inch wide section, maybe a little less, and I'm going to weave into that. So there will be some hair in between each foil that I'm not actually gonna touch at all. I'm going to leave gray. Again, if I was going for full coverage, I would just be putting this all over the root. And I'm just flicking up my color brush. This kind of just blurs out any lines, and I'm not worried about going all the way up to the root, and I'm also not worried if any of this color gets outside of the foil, because it's gonna look great no matter what I do. So now I'm just gonna pick up another foil, again keeping my sections about an inch in between, but I'm also weaving into that section. So I'm not worried about covering up all of this gray, because this is gray blending, not gray coverage. So now that I've gotten into this section, you guys can see this is where I need to tie in this face framing. So I'm gonna do the exact same thing on the other side, and then I'm gonna come in and begin with my face framing and finish off both of these sections. My first foil is gonna be right up here along the hairline. I'm not worried about how thick it is because I can get all of that inside my foil. And when I'm weaving, I'm kind of looking at what section has the most gray. As you guys can see, like this one specific piece has a lot of gray happening, so I made sure that I picked that up, and then you guys can see this is what I left out. So there's a little less gray in what I leave out if I'm able to kind of pick up majority of the gray in a section, I'm going to. And again, keeping my section the same as the other side of her hair. And then I'm just feathering up. Again, I'm not stressed if any of this color gets onto the other portions, because I'm gonna be blending everything in anyways. Okay, so now coming into the front, I'm going to keep things even, and I'm gonna split right off, right where this little widow's peak is, right in the middle. And then I'm going to plug in a foil right here, and then I'm gonna go right into horizontal sections. I'm doing this one foil around the hairline because if she pulls her hair back, I want things to be very uniform. And if I were to just go horizontal sections up the top, which I could do, I'm worried about not having enough control over even amounts of sections that I'm picking up. So I want to be able to pull this out and just kind of control it so that it's more uniform if she were to pull her hair back. So now that my face framing is done, you guys can see this is very uniform, one on either side, and then coming up horizontal. And now I'm going to finish off my section, just again going horizontally, and then I'm gonna go into the back portion with you guys. If you're in the salon, I've only plugged in 3 foils on the sides and 2 on either side. So this is gonna be a less is more, high impact sort of blend, which I think you guys will love in the salon because everybody wants to save a little bit of time. So my sectioning, I can already see I'm gonna get wider than my foil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull some hair back to make it so that I'm not working with hair wider than my foil for control. Okay, I'm gonna leave this section alone. I'm gonna work my way up the other side, and when I get closer to this top sectioning, that's when I'm going to come in and re-separate my sections out to make sure I have the same even amount of hair on either side of my sections. Okay, so now I'm coming up onto my last 2 sections, one on either side, and I made sure that my section size seems very close and similar in width. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a little bit finer weaves just so I could pick up a little bit more, making sure I can get as many of those little gray resistant ones that I can see. So this is my last section. I made sure both sides were equal in width. And so now I'm gonna come in and I'm going to do finer weaves, making sure I'm picking up those really resistant little guys that are sticking up. This front section of her hair, I have 18 foils. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move into the back and I'm going to space things out just a little bit more because traditionally you have less gray in the back. So this is saving me time because I'm doing less foiling at the bottom because I'm able to basically take 1 foil section over 2. So if I can do that, I'm probably gonna save about 4 foils, maybe even 6, depending on how high I go with this. And this one, I specifically took wider sectioning in between because I didn't have as much gray to pick up. My next section, I'm also gonna keep wide. I'm gonna be taking about 1 inch in between, maybe even a little bit more. So you guys can see this is getting just a little bit wide, so I'm not gonna do 1 wide foil moving forward now. I'm gonna split it into 2. This is how you know that it's time to divide things up or get a wider foil. So I'm just gonna split things in half, clip my section away, and work my way up this side. Again, my section's gonna be about 1 inch wide. You can see now I'm getting a little bit more gray. So I'm gonna actually take up a couple bigger sections just because I'm down here in the back. And I'm taking it up my section at a little bit of a diagonal. And I'm gonna actually take a smaller section here and then I'm gonna go a little bit wider. I have 5 foils so far. I'm gonna go ahead and tie in 3 more foils on this side and then we'll catch up to this portion. I can see on this piece, I have way less gray over here, more gray on this side. So I'm gonna kind of skip and then I'm gonna take a big piece over here. And this is my last section here on the split. So I'm gonna, again, bring it at an angle and then I'm going to tie everything in on this back section in a second. So on this one, you guys can see I have a little bit more gray back in here, less towards the outer side. So I'm gonna take a little bit of bigger sections and I'm gonna kind of just weave off of that and let this kind of be natural. Okay, so now I'm at the top of my back section and I have a triangle section because I worked at a diagonal coming up both sides, but this is where I tie everything in. So you can cheat on the very bottom by the neck and you can also not cheat, but you can have a smaller width of a section by bringing up diagonals, exactly like I've done. And so now I'm going to take a bit of a wider section, about 1 inch wide in depth on the bottom of this triangle. I always weave in smaller sections on the top portions just because I feel like it makes things a little softer and a little more natural, unless I'm going for something super, super dimensional. When I'm coming close, I pre-section away my last foil so I know exactly what I'm dealing with underneath here. And this is plenty, so what I'm gonna do is it's basically gonna be 2 back-to-back weaves on top of this entire section. So they were back-to-back here, and now they're back-to-back here, which is typically how I do my foil placements, whether it be lightener or low lights. So I'm gonna come in again, I'm gonna keep my weave finer, and I'm gonna apply a majority of my product, bring it down a little bit, and then I'm going to feather up again into this section. This is my last foil. On this section, I'm going to actually, because she has more of a gray patch here, I'm gonna go finer on my weaves, and then I'm gonna spread it out a tiny bit, just so that I get more picked up in here and make it more uniform for her. I have used under 30 foils on this placement. Again, she has a lot of hair. This again is gonna create more of a dimensional, a little bit of gray coverage, but again, the goal here is to gray blend. So we're gonna process her, and then I'll see you guys back in a couple minutes. Okay, now we're gonna be mixing up my toner formula. And what I have here is a 4.0, a 5.4, and I'm gonna add a little bit of a 6.0 in using VIBRANCE. So the reason why I chose my formula of a 6.0, a 4.0, and a 5.0 is because I wanted the 6 in just to add a little bit of lightness so this formula didn't go too dark. And the reason why I added in the 5.4 is for a little bit of warmth, but without being overpoweringly warm. We are going to be going in with an all-over toner, root to end, fully saturated, so I'm gonna make sure that my hair is dripping with VIBRANCE. So now we are coming in and I am mixing up CHROMA ID, and this is in the 646 shade. You know, it also comes in clear, and I can completely customize my color with clear. So this is great and something that I do offer for my clients when they're going home if they need extra time with their color. I can send them home with a little bit of this and it'll keep their color lasting a little longer. I'm gonna zap right around the hairline first, just again because this is where all that gray is more dominant at, so I'm gonna give it a little extra time to sit. And I'm also gonna go ahead and brush this through just for even distribution after I get some root area applied. So what I love about CHROMA ID is it has bonding technologies in it, and that is basically kind of like giving your client a treatment, and it just adds even more value onto your color services. And I love it because it can be totally express. It's already mixed. I don't have to worry about mixing it up. I just grab it and go, and it's something handy I can keep at my back bar. And then see. I am now going into styling, and I'm gonna be using Osis Grip. I'm gonna be using just a little bit because a little goes a long way, and I don't want her to feel like she has product on her hair. I'm just gonna rub it in my hands and start under the ear and then fluff upward. And then I'm going to just hit the very root with the leftover product on my hands, so I don't end up with an oily scalp. I'm now gonna finish off with Osis Upload, 1.5 pumps of that through the ends of her hair. And this is just gonna help give me some body and some hold on my style. And now I'm gonna start my blow dry. here is my finished result. And I'm gonna tilt her head down so you guys can see kind of at that root. Again, this was a gray blending technique, not a gray coverage technique. And I blended out her grays using IGORA ROYAL in a low light. And then I went all over with IGORA VIBRANCE toner, and then over the top, just for a little bit of richness, I went in with CHROMA ID 646. And I hope you guys love this look as much as we do. And I'll see you guys next time. Let me know what you guys think of this look in the comments. If you have any questions, leave us a comment and be sure to like and subscribe.